This is a large-scale, restricted-level movie in South Korea. There is no fun in the whole movie. The perverted collection tells the story of the race between the perverted killer and the avenger. The ending will make you hate it. The woman was put into a plastic bag and taken home. Her limbs were tied to a pillar with iron chains. After doing all this, the man caressed her body. The man was unmoved and continued to dismember the woman. The murderer was named Lao Zhang. He was a famous perverted killer. After dismembering the body, he began to clean up the crime scene. The girl's wedding ring was washed into the sewer, but Lao Zhang didn't find it. A boy found the meat scraps that Lao Zhang had discarded while playing in the wild. After that, the police began to a large-scale search was launched along the river and the girl's head was successfully found. The identity of the deceased was confirmed. Dahai was the deceased's fiancée. On the day of the incident, his wife's car broke down on the road and Dahai was on a mission and could not get away. He was a policeman. Dahai could only ask his wife to stay in the car and wait for rescue, which led to the tragedy. Dahai felt very guilty. After returning to the police station, Dahai resigned from his job as a policeman because he wanted to personally avenge his wife and find the murderer who killed his wife. After that, he used his position to get a positioning and monitoring capsule, and locked the information of 4 suspects from his father-in-law and began to investigate one by one. The first suspect was a wretched man. At this time, he was watching an action movie at home. At the critical moment, he found that the power was out. Dahai stood at the door with a plug. As a former policeman, she easily subdued the man in a few moves and tied him to a chair. But when she saw the suspect behind the photo said he had never seen the car, seeing that his questioning was fruitless, Dahai took a hammer and smashed the man's wall. Dahai found the second suspect and crashed into the car at the traffic light. After getting off the car, he punched and kicked the man without saying a word. The man was confused and asked who he was. Dahai stepped on the man directly, but he found that the man was not the person he was looking for. Now that 2 suspects had been ruled out, Dahai's mood became depressed, but he didn't know that the third suspect was the murderer he was looking for. Then Dahai found the address of the third suspect according to the information, but he only saw 2 old people here and didn't find the third suspect. The old man provided the man's real residence. Dahai went to the man's home as directed by the old man. He knocked on the cabinet in the room and found many women inside. The door behind him caught his attention, and inside was where the murderer killed and dismembered the body. Dahai found his wife's ring in the sewer and finally found the person who killed his wife. His revenge started. Meanwhile, the murderer on the other side targeted a girl and successfully tricked her into getting into his car.